You do any? You a sports person?
I don't participate actively anymore, but I watch. I watch a lot of football. I love NFL football.
Yeah.
But I don't participate in sports. My body's a little bit broken. I have all kinds of broken body parts. But I do yoga. Is that a sport? I do yoga pretty consistently.
Have you ever won?
Every time I do yoga, I win.
Yeah? Yeah. You're undefeated. So. Are you undefeated at yoga?
I'm undefeated at yoga. I think I feel very undefeated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You're an athlete.
Fuck right, man.
Wow. I think you're our first undefeated athlete we've ever had
shit.
as a guest.
So I'm also a champion because I know you introduce Ansley as a champion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You have the hardware? You have the yoga hardware to prove it?
Yes, I do, but I left it at home. I wasn't sure I thought about it, and then I said, because I brought the pickles, I didn't think also the hardware.
Yeah, that would have been a little over the top.
It's a metal, but it
trophy.
It's a really heavy metal, so I was like, I don't know if they're going to think I'm bragging, so I just left it at home.
All right.
Yeah, it's made of gold.
We have a metal wall.
I bet you do.
Yeah. You should see my yoga medals. All right, I think we're good. We're ready to start the podcast.
Yeah, we're ready.
Undefeated Yogi in here. We're doing it again.
Yes.
We're chakra popping. Once again, the Chakra Poppers are back. And I'm loving the name.
Yeah.
You feeling it?
I am.
I'm
the
feeling
Chakra
it.
Poppers.
So pumped. So welcome back to Chakra Poppers. I am Sidney. I am sitting next to the world champion Ansley.
Hello.
And today our guest is the undefeated yogi, Betty Smithsonian.
Hello. I'm so glad to be here.
It's so glad to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm feeling good. I'm looking good. I'm doing really well, actually.
Hell yeah.
Hells yeah.
Hell yeah. That's like I've never heard anybody say I'm feeling good, I'm looking good.
Oh yeah.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah. It's true though. Based on how I used to look, I think it is true.
Okay.
I'm comparing myself to myself.
That's
Sweet.
all you can do.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that's
Right.
a real competition.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Chakra Poppers, are you familiar with what we do on this podcast, Betty?
A tiny bit.
Okay.
Tiny bit.
That's more than enough. That's almost what we prefer
Okay, great.
for our guests to have.
Perfect.
And if you're watching for the first time, basically what we're trying to do on this podcast is prove that you can reach enlightenment no matter what type of sense of humor you have. So we take our guest, who today is Betty Smithsonian, through the process of enlightenment by popping open her chakras so that everybody watching and listening can vicariously have their chakras popped open through watching you. Yeah?
I can't wait.
Pretty pumped about that. So everybody gets the same questions. Ansley,
Yeah.
get us started.
So Betty, what situation or event did you learn the most information from?
Yeah. What situation or event did I learn the most information from? So this was the one question I knew coming in. And I was thinking, so I initially thought, would an answer be like when I'm in a 12-step program, 12-step recovery program.
Okay.
And I was thinking, would me joining that program be the moment or situation that I've gotten the most information from? Or would there was something that happened early on while in this program that I feel like was like this really specific moment where I was like, oh, wow. And then from there, obviously my whole life changed. The consequence of my life. From there, yeah, everything changed.
Okay,
so,
I think I want that moment.
You want that moment.
I think I want that moment. And
Yeah.
Before you tell us that, which step was it on?
This wasn't connected specifically to any of the steps. It was more like the principle of open-mindedness.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do tell.
Yeah. So this moment, so there is a conversation in lots of 12-step programs. I'm just going to keep saying 12-step program just to keep it kind of separate.
Can you just, what are the steps?
What are all 12 of them?
Yeah.
Off the top of my head?
Yes.
The first step is you admitted you were powerless over alcohol, that your life had become unmanageable.
Okay.
The second step is came to believe in a power greater than yourself could restore you to sanity.
Can that power that's greater than myself also be myself?
There's probably versions of that for people. Yeah, it's very flexible.
Sick.
I'm sure we can look up. The third step is made a decision to turn your will and power over to that other power, right? So there is like
I would never give myself that power over me.
or at least admitting something is more powerful than you.
I don't think Sidney likes either of those.
I mean, is the sun more powerful than you?
Could there be a version of Sidney more powerful than Sidney?
The broke? Yeah. I mean,
I think so. I think that's what this whole thing is.
Dude, show him to me. I'll fuck him up right now. Right now.
Show me the weak Sidney right now. I'll fucking destroy him. He's worthless. Get him out of my house. Get him away from my kids.
Yeah, and if he does beat me, no stepdads. You know my rules. All right, so number 4.
Oh my God. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of yourself.
I don't know what any of that meant.
well, moral and searching? Is that what?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you say that one more time for stupid people?
Moral and fearless searching. Wait a second. Searching and moral. Oh my God. Inventory of yourself.
Woo,
Moral.
Somebody didn't get past that 4.
I want to just look it up. Can I just look it up? I don't want to fuck it up.
Yeah.
What if I just open my phone and there's porn right on there? Does that happen to
Which
you?
step is that? 6 and 9?
Dude. Holy shit. That is fucking funny for a million other reasons.
Yeah.
So the fourth step is basically you made a searching and fearless moral inventory of yourself.
Okay.
So what that is basically is you're going to list out all the things that maybe things you've done in your life, moments in your life that you need to kind of inventory. And it's usually the shitty way we treated people. So you kind of list all that stuff out. And then in 5, you take a look at it with someone else. The 5th step is you're going to kind of review that inventory with maybe a counselor, maybe your therapist, maybe someone else in the program.
Yeah.
So there's like a review of it so that the person who's making it isn't just, talking to themselves about their shit.
Okay, so
right?
like a cosigner.
Right. It's not a cosigner. It's actually more of a caller outer. I think until that point, a lot of people only have cosigners.
Ooh. I won't be more powerful than myself. I'll call me out.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
And then 6 and 7 are about, these are like the steps that you sort of do forever. They're the steps that have to do with kind of understanding from your moral inventory, you kind of get a list of some of the ways in which you can act when you're afraid, right? You can lie, you can cheat, you can steal, manipulate, con, scheme. And then you kind of list these.
Check.
Yeah, and then twice on that. And then as a result of knowing more about the way you can behave with those defects of character, you kind of ask for the strength to act differently next time. That's kind of what 6 and 7 are. So you make a list of those defects and you ask them to be removed. 8 and 9 are making a list of people you owe an amends to and then going and making those amends. 10 is doing an inventory more frequently so that it doesn't get all clogged up.
Okay.
11 is showing up and being of service to other people.
Nice.
I'm sorry, 11 is prayer and meditation, and then 12 is being of service.
Service and other people.
Yeah.
Got it.
God damn, dude.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Does anyone have any whiskey? Chase. 12-step chaser.
Nailed that.
Yeah, those are the steps.
I'm going to also service myself.
I love doing the 12-step to myself, man. Every morning. Get on my knees. Oh, man. So I started in this program and I went to rehab. I've been in rehab 9 times. And the last time I went was hopefully the last time, 22 years ago. And
yeah, you're 108 steps in.
Yeah, dude, I'm in the multiplication tables at this point. But no, so I went into the program really with like this kind of like, oh shit, there's nowhere else to go. Like, I guess I'll go here. And I was open to kind of doing some of the program. I was open to going to meetings, meeting other people, doing service.
She was open to the hangout.
Yeah, absolutely. I was open, like, people that hang at the gym but don't work out.
Yeah.
100%. That's it. Those people.
Snacks.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I'll fucking buy the gear
Yeah.
and then eat pizza in my fucking car.
Sick.
And I remember, and my background is I'm Jewish, and I remember feeling like, oh, there's a lot of like people here that have this belief in God, and it feels kind of cringy. And sometimes like I would hear people share, oh, Jesus this, and I'm like, I'm not interested, and just be really turned off, or just like debating and argumentative and whatever. And it was like probably about 6 months, we'll say, not drinking and using this last time through. And I was so miserable, just yucky, depressed. I hated everything. And I'm like, why am I sober? This is dumb. I got sober to be miserable and miss alcohol. And my friend at the time, Ron C., he said, why don't you try to pray? And I was like, nah, dude, I'm fucking Jewish. I'm one of the chosen people. I don't need to do that shit. It's in me.
Yeah.
I don't need to do shit. And he's like, yeah, but there's a cool, he said, there's this cool prayer that's like, that a lot of people say, the St. Francis prayer. And he gave me a copy of it. And I remember reading it and being like, this is the most religious, biblical, cringy thing you could have ever given me. Mm-hmm. Like, I think it even has the word like doth in it or something. Like, it's like bespoke, whatever. I'm like, and I remember just being like vehemently, like almost like, my physical body, like, how could this cannot help me, and really just like anti whatever. Yeah. So then like a couple more weeks went by, and I was like, I think I'm gonna kill myself. Like, I think that's my step. I don't want to go back to using and drinking because I couldn't bear the embarrassment of not staying sober for the millionth time.
That's the 13th step.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd rather go and fucking jump off a bridge. And I was...
Is that what you would have done?
No, I probably would have taken meds. I'm a fucking pussy.
Oh,
yeah.
Weak.
Yeah.
Weak.
No, thank you for calling me out. Definitely.
Yeah.
I think I would have done that. I wouldn't have done anything big and dramatic, but, and I remember leaving a meeting and kind of slinking away, and my friend Ron C., like, coming up to me and just checking in, and I was a smoker at the time, so we were like smoking cigs, and he was like, that prayer, maybe like think about what it might mean to you. Maybe if you looked at it and just like rewrote it, like take a look at it. He's like, you're very smart. You have an incredible brain. And anytime anyone says that, I'm like, go on, more about my intellect. And he kind of used a little bit of that ego stroking to be like, read this and like maybe rewrite it, see what it means. And then like, let's chat about it. And I swear to God, dude, I was like, I'll fucking show him. And I like looked at the prayer and I rewrote it a little bit. And I was just like, holy shit, this sounds awesome. If I could do this, if I could get some, if I could have the grace to be able to love rather than be loved, or the power and strength to forgive someone rather than to demand to be forgiven, I'm like, what a fucking relief. What an incredible relief that would be to live life in that space. And yeah, I mean, I get goosebumps thinking about it now, but I was like, oh shit, is this an option? Mm-hmm. Like, could I feel like this? Because I'm going to jump off a bridge or, take a bunch of Tylenol PM.
We know she's not jumping off that bridge.
Yeah.
She's trying to steal suicide Valor right now. There's no way she's jumping off that bridge.
Dude, stolen Valor, suicide version, insane. You're like, make sure whatever you do that my obituary says I jumped off a bridge. You're like, I don't know, but this is assisted suicide. We're just putting you to sleep.
Off the bridge.
Do it slow. Yeah, my God.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, is there any part of you, well, first of all, congratulations on a sick rewrite of a prayer.
Yeah, baby.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But also, is there any part of you as a Jewish person that felt when you were praying that Jesus was up in the sky going, well, look who came crawling back.
Shut the fuck up. But there's a part of me now that has that in my head, of course.
Okay.
That's so funny.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, like looking at his watch. I figured it'd be any minute.
Yeah.
Welcome, my child. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you had to distill what it was that you learned from that experience, like how would you contextualize that?
Yeah, pain is the greatest motivator of open-mindedness. That's it. Pain is going to rip your fucking mind open. You think you have an idea of what you're willing to do or not do. If you're in enough pain, you could fucking lift a car.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet that a lot of times people with gritted teeth are like, I'll consider it.
Yes. Holy shit. You know what's fucking insane? I just was telling my wife this. We were talking about this story because we were like, what does it take for someone to get to the bottom? And we were talking about someone in a pretty intense, crappy relationship. We're like, wow, they keep going back.
Yeah.
And that is an addictive cycle, right? It's vicious. It's all that stuff. And I was sharing that I had this one of the times I was in a rehab where I had combined some ecstasy and then the mood stabilizers that I was on and some cocaine. And I was in this, I was like freaking, my head started to split open and I was freaking out and started to have some panic. And then I was able to calm down because someone had turned on the radio and I was like, oh my God, thank God. I was like, thank you. My roommate at the time, I'm like, Acadia, thank you so much for turning on the radio. And she's like, I have not turned on the radio. And I'm like, fuck! I am fucked. And I actually had to go to the fucking emergency room. I had to be strapped down to a fucking, I thought I could read people's minds. Like it was,
Wow.
I remember doctors coming in, like 10 doctors at a time, and I couldn't move. I was like, I had almost given myself brain damage with the amount of drugs that I did. It took me like several weeks afterwards to regain the ability to speak. Like it was fucking insane.
Yeah.
And that all happened, right?
Yeah.
I know. My wife's like, why? How can we get back there?
Yeah. Yeah.
How can we get you to say
Yeah.
less?
Yeah.
So after that, do you guys think I stopped using drugs and drinking? You would think.
Well, because you asked that question, I will say no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I'm good at these.
As soon as I could talk again, I was like, where can I get high?
Yeah.
So like what it takes, like that amount of pain didn't get me to that point. Everyone's fucking elevator gets off at a different stop, you know? The last time I used, that last experience I had wasn't the worst pain I had ever been in, but like the experience of all the pain together, I was like, oh, this is horrifying. You know, the amount of pain knowing like there were times I was closer to joy and then I continue to choose this, this fucking intensity. Anyway.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that, first of all.
Yeah.
Wow, guys.
And we
this
didn't
is
even
straight vodka, though.
Yeah.
It doesn't count if you're on a podcast.
Yeah.
So now, Betty, what we do is we pop open those chakras from the bottom chakra up.
Yes.
You ready for this?
Is this an anal one?
Well, we have to say that. The first one is located right around the butthole.
Oh, my God. I just tightened my muscle down there a little
we'll
bit.
fix that.
Okay. I'm ready.
All right.
Put it in me.
Take it away. Let's go.
All right, Betty, how did you learn to overcome fear?
Yeah. Something that I was horrified that I had done. I went and I told everyone I did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so afraid. This also happened in an AA meeting. I was 2 or 3 years sober. I had to go on welfare. I was dealing with like a lot of intense situations, and I was the kind of one of the group members. Like each meeting is set up as a different group.
Okay.
And I was one of the group members, and I would take the money after each meeting, and I was stealing a lot of the money. And
you were stealing from a 12-step program?
yeah, 100%, yes.
Sick.
Was.
Sick.
Was taking it and justifying this is the amazing thing. With or without alcohol, I'm a fucking alcoholic. I can manipulate, con, scheme, scam. And I was still sick. I still hadn't really done any kind of work on myself. I was still just like making coffee and smoking cigs and doing some prayer a little bit. And I was fucking stealing money. And then within like a couple of weeks, like a bunch of crazy financial shit happened where I was like, oh, fuck, like I had a bunch of tickets or something, and there was like I lost my job. I got fired from the fucking pizza place, which is now it's a huge apartment building, but it was on 18th and Walnut, the best fucking pizza, Lombardi's Pizza. I got fired from there. And I was like, fuck. And I remember talking to my sponsor and being like, all this shit's going on. What am I going to do about money? And he's like, did anything happen like a couple months ago? Like, how did did your bad luck all of a sudden start? Like I don't remember specifically what he said, but whatever he said got me to be like, oh shit, I've been stealing money from, and he's like, okay, so you can never really have an honest relationship with money unless you get really honest with money. It's not enough to just like, that means cheating on your taxes is having a dishonest relationship with money. So I was like, okay, so I'll put the money back in the basket. He's like, you're going to have to go to the meeting and tell everyone you took the money. That's how you're going to make these financial amends. And that's also how you're going to change your relationship with money.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
No way. I'd rather jump off a bridge. Take a lot of time off the end. And I was just like, it was like my only community. It was like I had moved into Philly and the only people that I was friends with were people in the program.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I thought to go into that meeting, again, God bless them, a bunch of fucking loser drunks just like me, and have to admit that I'm the worst of all of them and that I was stealing money.
Yeah.
And I was like so fucking afraid. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you're going to be afraid and you're going to do it anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was it.
So
I went and did it.
So overcoming fear for you is acknowledging something, like going at it head first.
Yeah.
And just
The
taking it
thing
on.
you're afraid to share, the
Yeah.
most honest thing about yourself, your biggest secret, that thing that keeps you sick is the thing that keeps you most afraid. Once you share that and say, here it is, here's the thing, I'm a thief. Ugh. You're free from that. In exchange, you have now had grown a little bit of integrity and a little bit of courage.
Okay.
And it doesn't mean you're never without fear. You just are with the fear and you proceed with integrity.
Okay, so not necessarily related to what you just said, but can you remember a time in your life when you were the most scared?
Yeah, that's a good question. Time in my life when I was the most scared. So, I mean, this is a good fucking question. When I was like 16, I told my parents at the same time, even though they were divorced, it was suggested that I sit them down and kind of tell them that I was gay.
Wait, who suggested that?
Yeah, my therapist.
You had a therapist at 16?
Yeah, I'd already been in rehab twice by 16.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Got after it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I fucking don't fuck
Somebody was
around.
popular.
The cool kid.
Someone had good insurance.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So I remember that being just like, oh my fucking God, holy shit. I'm going to sit them down. I'm going to tell them. I also told them something that happened to me when I was a little kid. And my therapist recommended to tell them both things together. Yeah. So I was like, this happened to me when I was a little kid. And also, I'm gay. All right, see you guys later.
Yeah.
So that, like, the prep for that was like, oh my God, it was like the worst book report ever. Like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I did. I had to get honest.
Okay.
Fucking
How
sucked.
did they like give the reaction that you thought, or was it just kind of like?
They were both, I mean, God bless the both of them. They come from like education backgrounds. They both were teachers. And they were, we'll love you no matter what. And we're going to fucking murder whoever did that to you. Like,
yeah,
the best thing that you could say.
Did that bring them back together?
And then, oh no, probably not. But no, they never got back together. Thank God.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
that's definitely a fear chakra pop right open.
Yeah.
Did you guys just shit yourself when I told you that? Did that open your anal canal so much that it just popped out?
I was like, wait, are you smelling something? No, we've heard some things.
Oh yeah,
We've heard some things.
I gotta get back and fucking
Yeah.
listen to all this shit.
So
You
yeah.
should do a Venn diagram of all the answers of people and see where everyone overlaps. I'm sure there's someone out there that's like a huge contributor and fan of your podcast
Yeah.
that could go through with like data is beautiful and like web design, like how people are connected with their answers.
Yeah, I would say, well, not necessarily in your case. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I haven't gotten this far, but like a dead dads come up a lot.
Yeah.
Dead dads?
A lot of dead dads.
Oh, how lucky.
A lot of dead dads. All right,
No
Fear
dead
Chakra
dads.
Pop, Ace. Let's go.
We are to the pelvis chakra. So, Betty, this is a segment we like to call My Bad. So it's an opportunity for you to apologize to a person, place, or thing in order to set your karma back to neutral.
Oh my God.
We just got done popping Betty's dark chakras on Chakra Poppers After Dark, our Patreon. $1 gets you all of our exclusive content. It was so much fun. Betty, did you have a good time?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, you were awesome.
You were awesome.
Oh, you're right. And also be sure to check out BettySmithsonian.com for all of her dates and comedy shows. You go check her out. You can already see how much fun she is comedically. Go watch her perform live. You will not regret it. So $1, all of our exclusive content, which not only includes the counter to this podcast you're watching right now, which we call Chakra Poppers After Dark.
Yes.
But we also do fight commentary and analysis on Ansley's Jiu Jitsu matches. Whether she wins or loses, we put it out there. So now, you guys are going to get back to this episode and find out who or what Betty has to apologize to.
God, this is great. The my bad part. You know, I haven't spoken to my sister, my twin sister, in probably about 6 months. We've had a bit of a falling out. But luckily we've had some mediated conversation, which has been good.
Okay.
I think I would want to apologize to her. I feel like I made that about me needing something.
Okay.
Instead of, and then in that moment, she began to go through a pretty intense beginning of a divorce. And it was like when you would need your sister. And I was like, nope, my comfort and my boundaries and my, whatever are going to be first.
And the two of you are identical twins, right?
Well, a lot of people,
you look identical.
We do. We look identical. It's never been tested, but I think if it did, it would be identical. But the doctor told us we were fraternal.
Ooh.
But my mom also didn't know she was having twins until my sister was born.
Yeah.
No ultrasound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I popped out and they were like, sweet, that was the one we want. And they went to deliver the placenta. And then the doctor felt another foot and was like, thought it was maybe a stillborn.
Yeah.
And then it was my sister.
That's wild.
Yeah, I can't believe they used to do it that way. Like,
Right?
surprise baby.
And also, like, the fact that my mom had no fucking idea. Like, we heard 3 and 4 of the kids. So she had 2 others.
Yeah.
And, like, looking back at pictures, like, no offense, she'll probably never listen to this, but my mom was
She's actually our number 1 fan.
She's the one making the Venn diagram of data. My mom was the size of this room. Like, she was gigantic.
Yeah.
The twin bellies are insane.
Yeah, the fact that there weren't 3 babies in there was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
But she never had an ultrasound. I guess back in that time, when I'm 95, so in the late 1800s, they only did an ultrasound if there was an issue.
Yeah.
They thought there might be an issue.
Yeah.
But now it's like every 6 hours, they're like, update. It's
Yeah.
the size of a walnut. It's the size of a bigger walnut.
Yeah. Now, I noticed you were being a little bit vague about the falling out between you and your sister, and we don't need the details of stuff if you're not willing to share. But with that being said, you can look into the camera and you can issue an apology.
G, I love you, and I'm sorry.
Woo! We did it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. That did feel nice.
Yeah.
I
Gave
just
me
wanna-
butterflies.
I know.
Yeah.
I want to say, oh, that's so great. That really made me feel something too.
Good.
I call my twin G,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not because of, G, like you guys say G, like gangster.
That's
What do you mean by you guys?
Yeah, I meant
okay.
like Sidney and his other black friends.
Yeah.
We say it because we in the past used to quote a Milli Vanilli song, "Girl, you know it's true." We used to say that all the time. "Girl, you know it's true." Good girl. We would do that silly thing to each other. And then we would just shorten it with like girl, and then we'd just be like, G. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where it comes from, Milli Vanilli, not because we were appropriating the black culture of gangster.
Milli Vanilli, black.
I know, but the girl versus the gangster.
You're still appropriating black culture.
You're right. Oh, wait, I have a new apologize. I need to apologize. Milli and Vanilli. I am sorry. I have appropriated the G in your lip synced 1992 song, "Girl, You Know It's True." My bad, G.
Double apology.
Yeah, that's wide open chakra.
Popped right open. Pop. My bad, G. My bad, Milli Vanilli. Sorry. We had to pop open the pelvic chakra.
Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah.
All right.
That's good.
Ace, let's go.
All right, we're to the gut chakra. So, Betty, how do you move past disappointment either in yourself or in loved ones?
Yeah. Never, ever, ever stop bringing it up all the time. Forever. I'm like, I like to do a thing called not let it go. You guys ever hear that?
I'm familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like I've been having all kinds of like thoughts about being an older parent, and my wife and I are in the process of adopting. And one of my friends is like, dude, you got to let it go. And I'm like, what do you mean? Could show me how that works. Like, you mean just stop being worried that this thing that's so real could possibly be like really hard? Oh, girl, okay, cool. I'll just let it go. Why didn't you fucking say that? Holy shit, man. Thank you so much. It's let go.
Have you started letting things go? Or where are you in that process?
Of that experience right now, the thing about feeling older, I haven't been able to let go yet because it's still like I'm expecting to be a parent that's older. I think once I am, I'll be like, oh shit, I'm in the zone.
Yeah.
Right? It's perfect that I have whoever I am. But I'm feeling other things I've let go of in my life, ton of shit. So it's possible. I think eventually there's this saying like everything I let go of has claw marks all over it. And that sort of feels like I've never really been able to be like, oh, this is causing me pain. Okay, cool. Put that down.
Yeah.
You know, usually it's a struggle to finally. So I have to really be hurt by it before I'm ready to like drop it. Is that what you guys do? How do you let something go?
Yeah.
What's that?
I think I ruminate on things a lot. And then I try to find a way to like go, like kind of what you were saying about fear, like go into it. Like if it's an experience, like do it again, or like, test it,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So almost weaken the thing a bit.
I like to weigh it against my willingness to do something about it.
Oh, yeah.
And
like what the balance is between.
Yeah. And if it's like,
pain.
well, if I'm not going to do something about it, I have to let it go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if I'm going to do something about it, well, once I do something about it, it will be let go. So either way, I guess I let it go.
Yeah.
So in this section, I like to ask this question. So whether it was from some sort of performance art or some sort of sport, is there a lingering disappointment from either performance art or sport that you still think about sometimes?
Yeah, that's really interesting. God, these are really good questions, you guys. So thoughtful. And both of you are such great listeners.
Oh. Thank you. What did you say?
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think that's something that is so powerful in exchanging information is when you have people really connecting and listening. It can make the thing you say so much clearer.
Yeah, but I think what it is that we both love other people's business.
But even that, I feel that.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, that's funny. So yeah, I think probably I don't feel disappointed in performance at all. I love that I feel like I get to express and share joy all the time. It doesn't matter what size stage, whether I'm crossing the street or in line at the Acme or wherever. I really love that that's part of my life. I was a basketball player, and I went to high school. I played high school basketball, and I went to a bunch of like basketball camps, and I was supposed to play basketball in college, and I was like recruited by all these schools, and I was supposed to play at the college I went to, and I like got recruited. It was Division III, but I still got recruited, and I was gonna play, and I just never showed up to practice the first day. I just went to college and dodged, and then finally said, "Yeah, I don't think it's for me."
Why didn't you show up?
I was afraid, I bet, and I wanted to like smoke cigarettes and do drugs, and I didn't want the discipline of working out, and I was new in college, and I thought the people I wanted to spend time with and the things that I wanted to fill my time were not going to be in athletic stuff. And
Wow.
I know, I think about that. Like that was
I'm going to think about that all the time.
I know, right? And my life just turned, college was weird.
You made it through college?
No, a couple times I went to different colleges. This was the first college I went to, Brandeis University, and a really good school. And ended up being asked to leave that school.
Yeah, too much fun.
Yeah, they're like, I think by the time I left that school, I had already been, I left that school going to rehab for the 4th time. So things were really, I'll say, I always felt like I was rearranging furniture on the Titanic. That's sort of what the years of 14 to 22 felt like.
Okay.
I was like, it's fine. Don't worry about anything. The water coming in, just if you move the chair over here, you won't even notice.
Oh, when it was sinking. I was like, all right, she's getting it ready for his maiden voyage. She's a boat decorator, I guess. I don't know. All right, I get it now. I get that now. All right. We're doing it.
Oh my God.
We're doing it.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Betty the boat decorator. Oh my God, that is beautiful.
Yeah, and that's also a chakra pop.
Yes.
That's a gut chakra popped wide open. Thank you for sharing all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Ace, let's go.
All right, we are to the heart chakra. So, Betty, what have you learned from grief?
Holy moly. What have I learned from grief? I've learned that grief is an underwater roller coaster that's also in space.
Okay, wait, let me see if I can get this. Wait, is it sinking? What?
It at times will feel like it is sinking.
Okay.
It at times will feel like you are going perfectly with the current. It at times will feel like you're going to throw up. It will have all of the things. There is no linear path. There is no one right way to grieve. And it will it has the power to go on and be part of your life forever. There is no door closed that has to happen on grief. You can feel it forever. And it's your personal experience. I've learned that there's no, when I think that I have fully experienced the weight of something, I'm like, wow. And I've done phenomenal work in therapy and trauma therapy and huge narratives about all the things that have made me who I am and the things that are the worst shit that ever happened to me. And I finally just uncover it. I'm like, oh, and the lightness that I feel after that. I'm like, oh, right? The grief. I'm through it. Wrong. I'm just at a part of it that right now feels almost like it's in remission, and it's allowed to come back. It's allowed to be part of me in whatever form. That's what I've learned.
Where is the more stable part, underwater or in space?
I think it's underwater.
Okay.
Yeah. Great question.
Yeah.
God, Sid the Kid for the fucking win.
Let's go.
Undefeated question.
Yeah. Now, you don't have to get into too much detail about this. We are a comedy podcast, and you can get into detail about it as long as you're willing to have us make fun of it. But is there a particular grief situation that you think of when you're answering that question?
God, I feel like letting go of the expectation of what my parents were. I feel like that's the thing I've grieved the most. Like as a kid, my mom was my mom. My dad was my dad. They were the best mom or dad ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And as I grew and changed and learned and got sober, I started to see a little bit more of the truth of sometimes how people are parenting and the decisions they make maybe weren't the best decisions for everybody.
Well, it was after they had to deal with your drunk ass.
Fucking
for a
right,
while.
dude. Hey, motherfucking men. Now that's some fucking truth
Yeah,
right
you were
there.
seeing them in their PTSD phase.
Hells yeah. Fucking right, man. Oh, dude, I fucking remember this one time coming home so fucking drunk. It was like 5 a.m. My friend had to push me up the stairs. And I remember this fucking moment where my mom was at the top of the stairs and I was at the bottom, and I thought I was getting in to the house safely.
Mm-hmm.
And I must have been in a blackout or something, but I fucking came to at this moment. And my mom would like turned on the stairway light.
Mm-hmm.
And I just saw her horrified face looking down at me, like horrified, scared, hadn't been able to get in touch with me, hadn't gotten home. And then here I am, like drunk, whatever, at the bottom of the stairs, and just her face, like just the terror.
Yeah.
And like on her face. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Vicious, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was a lot to deal with for sure.
I believe it. I believe it. As a parent, I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. What are you guys going to do? How are you? I mean, luckily they're not 17 overnight, but when you have to deal with something that's fucking really, what the fuck are you going to do when your kid is potentially showing up in a way that feels like you're really disappointed in their decision?
Well, I mean, like you said, it's not, they don't turn 17 overnight.
Right.
So hopefully the foundation of communication that we are currently laying down will help us with those conversations later on. I mean, that's the only thing we can. I mean, is that fair?
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. And I think to expect that they're gonna make some bad decisions.
Yeah.
Right? I know, but that's like, I feel
that's
like
how kids are, right?
I feel like we're jinxing ourselves, because I feel like we are good people to deal with situations, and I feel like us expecting that, we're never gonna get to use our skill. You know what I mean? Like
I think I might be okay with that.
I mean, I won't. I need to like yell at somebody, sit somebody down, and give somebody I feel like you're gonna like take my lecture power away from me.
Yeah, you don't want your kids to be so good. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I do want them. I want them to be. I just want to be able to like, give them a what for every now and again.
Yeah.
Have a good what for vibe.
Yeah.
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 So,
I feel like that's real.
That's all I'm here for. It's what I'm on earth for.
Everyone has their purpose.
Yeah.
And that's your purpose.
Yeah, and I feel like my kids know that.
Yeah.
And I feel like they are actively trying to not let me have that.
Because they're trying to be so good?
I mean, and not necessarily trying to be
push the boundary just to the edge.
Yeah.
Like they know where it is.
What is the thing for the both of you that is the most surprising thing that has happened in your relationship as a result of having kids? What's been a thing like, wow, I did not think this would be the thing?
I think it was really hard. Like we've always parented by like make sure your kids are somebody that you want to be around.
Mm-hmm.
And that process is not as easy as it might seem to start with, right? Because when they are little, like you have to start at that point. You're not going to be like, oh, you can do whatever you want until you're 6, and then now you're a person, and now we're going to deal with you to make you, fun to be around, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, but dealing with like a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old with that mindset and that discipline, and like just watching them cry is like, it's so heartbreaking, and you're like, I know this is good for the long term, but in this moment, this feels horrible,
Oh, man.
Well, see, she
that
was
so. I love that. I sort of love that.
She was regrettably watching them cry, and I was victoriously making them cry. So, that.
Right.
That.
Does it break? What is the thing that breaks your heart, Sid, when it comes to your kids? What's the thing that makes your emotional heart the biggest and most vulnerable?
Do you feel like you know?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a hard ass dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty strict.
Why though? You must love those kids a lot.
I do, but it's I mean, I didn't have parenting, so because of that, I feel like everything I do is way better than what I had. So go fuck yourself.
What did you have?
Well, my mom was a drug addict. My dad was an alcoholic. But my mom was also, she had a kid at 15. And she also had some pretty traumatic situations as a child.
Yeah.
And she never really, she went out every weekend. Like, I didn't see her for a lot of the week. My dad wasn't around. And then, when I was seeing him, he was drunk and he was fighting cops and shit.
Yeah.
So I never really had good parenting. So I feel like everything that I do is way better than what I had. So
yeah,
we're winning. You know what I mean?
I
mean, I could be wrong.
No,
I
don't think
damaging my kids terribly.
I think you do that because you love them so much that it hurts your heart to think that you would guide them in any other way. That's what I think. That's
you can say that.
I think the strictness comes from that.
My heart feels pretty good. I feel pretty good.
I would imagine.
Yeah. I mean, it's I think, different people are wired different ways. And I think, I also was around, like, my mom had kids at a young age. My sister had kids at a young age. I was always around the raising of kids.
Okay.
So I didn't come into raising kids like completely like, oh my God, what are we gonna do with this?
Yeah,
like I can't hold this. So
you had some experience.
Yeah. So
I have zero experience, and I'm like, you just saying like knowing how to hold a kid. I'm like, how do you do it? What do you do?
Yeah, by the foot.
A lot of dangling.
Hold them up, yeah. Hold them upside down. But that is definitely a heart chakra popped open wide, Betty. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for sharing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And then, Ace, let's get to this throat chakra.
All right. Throat chakra. So, Betty, what is a favorite lie that you tell or have told? Extra karmic points if it's still in rotation.
When I first got sober, I would tell people I did heroin, but I had never done heroin.
That for like cool points? Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Could you imagine?
Drug Valor.
Oh
my God.
That's true. And suicide Valor.
Yeah.
Like I was such a fucking insecure. Like people are like, oh, when you stop drinking and using to become a better person, it's like wrong. You first become so much worse. You don't realize that drugs and alcohol were fucking keeping your ass together. As soon as you were like, oh no, my feelings. I fucking lied about everything, stole shit. I didn't know how to be on the planet feeling the way I was feeling.
Yeah.
I couldn't actually even understand what my emotions were. I'm like, what do I even like? At one point, I thought maybe I was straight. I'm like, I don't know. I've only been with women when I was fucked up. Maybe I'm straight. So I went on a date with a dude, and I was like, I'm definitely gay. This dude stinks. Yeah, wait, what was the question?
Oh, that was the lie, which was you told
the
people
heroin.
You were on
Yeah,
heroin.
yeah. I told people I did heroin. And then I didn't even say like, hey, everyone, I lied about that. I just stopped saying it. Yeah, dude.
That's awesome.
I'm fucking not far.
Now, when you were telling people that you had a heroin addiction, did you also feel a lot of pressure to display tremendous skill at some sort of art?
No. No, not at all. In fact, I remember just being like, I remember redirecting when there'd be any follow-up about it. Because I'm in AA. Most people are fucking junkies in AA. And when anyone would be like, oh, yeah, did you used to shoot dope at whatever? I'm like, so when do you guys want to get pizza? Are we hang out? I swear, dude. I was just like a bad liar, too.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah, but K&A, we used to fucking...
Yeah, and they were like, yeah, we're heading to Lombardi's right now. No, we can't go there. We can't go there.
No, dude. Yeah. Just like, I mean, but I'm sure you've had maybe other people in recovery on your program, but I feel like that is a common thing. Like the first little bit of time when you're in the program, you're still such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And trying to fit in with a bunch of other pieces of shit. You're like, oh, I guess I gotta fucking tell people I killed someone, you know?
Yeah.
It's so wild, dude. I'm the mayor of this fucked up room. I did heroin. That's so dumb.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So, I mean, going back to the thing about honesty, as soon as you share, as soon as you show what the thing is, the fucking relief. Because what an emotional and mental exhaustion it is to lie and know you are lying.
Yeah.
Right? The
Yeah. So
much
physical,
work.
molecular, the shift in your cells. Like just showing up and telling the truth is like the best heroin ever.
Well, that's from
Maybe.
someone who's never done heroin.
Sid! So good, dude. You're so good. Oh, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's an awesome lie. I think that's
Yeah.
one of my all-time favorite lies on this podcast. Wow.
Oh,
Thank you for
man.
sharing. And that is a throat chakra popped wide open.
Yes.
Ace, let's go.
All right, we are to the third eye chakra, so we're out of the physical into the metaphysical. So, Betty, what is something that you've always thought of as separate, but you're learning it's really the same?
Something I always thought of as separate, and I'm learning the same. Yeah. I feel, oh my gosh, I have so many things in my head right now.
She's lying. She's still in thought valor.
I feel like, so I feel like the things that I thought were different. I mean, I'm going to talk about stand-up comedy. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's sort of the thing that's coming into my head. The thing that I thought was different was this thing called stand-up comedy versus this thing that I do, which is show up and try to make people laugh. And I used to think I had to do this one specific kind of thing. Like, oh, it's got to be a joke and then a punchline, and I have to do it in this way. But this other part of me that does a lot of alternative kind of comedy and much more a different kind of connection with the audience that feels, maybe it's in my just seeking of joy constantly, and maybe also the boredom of the joke I've told a million times. I thought like I had to have a hat that was a stand-up comedy hat. Psh, this is it. Do you need me to do stand-up comedy tonight? And now I feel like, oh no, I'm a performer and I perform comedy. And if you want me to come on your show, I'm going to do that. I'm going to perform comedy. And that, I think, jammed me up for a while. I feel like you were one of the first people, you and Rainey, in early comedy. I'm not friends with any of you guys, but I used to hit everyone up for tips.
Thank you for saying that.
I used to hit you guys up for tips. How do you do this? How do you get good at this? Blah. That's my impression of me 9 years ago. Hey, Sidney, Sid, wait up.
Yeah, she nailed it. That was her.
Hey, Sid, I got a question. And I remember being like, man, I'm fucking writing these like jokes about I'm gay and this is what being gay is. And I'm like, man, I'm fucking whatever. And you said, I'm like, how do I do something different? You're like, you eventually will be sick of telling those jokes and you will stop telling those jokes and you will not stop telling them until you are sick of telling them. And I was like, oh, so I get to feel how it feels to tell this joke and then decide whether I'm done or not. And it was like a fucking wake-up call. I was like, oh, this is about what I think is funny. This is about that. This isn't about, like, what does the audience need me to be? It's like, no, what do you want to tell us? And I was like, oh, fuck. And then that will eventually become something different. I was like, damn. Sid, wait up. Tell me that again. Don't leave me, Sid. Don't go to Helium. I'm stuck here at the Improv Theater. Wait.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love hearing my wisdom come back to me.
Yeah, and then I remember one time I made Rainey go get coffee with me and tell me, like, how do I get into stand-up? He's like, you got to get up on stage and just eat a lot of shit. And I'm like, yeah, that's actually great advice.
Yeah, so what are we going to do the rest of the time here? We still have all this coffee to drink.
Oh, yeah, this is just a 2-minute meeting. I guess I can head to an open mic.
Yeah, I guess we could have talked about this on the way to an open mic.
Yeah, you could have texted me this. Why are we meeting?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. I like that answer. And not to gas you up, but like as far as the answers that have something to do with stand up, that was the first time we heard that particular answer.
Yeah. I like that too because I think it's relatable to other, like when you're trying to do anything, you know, like you always think it's like over there and you're like, oh, what am I going to do when I become that? And it's like, you are that. You just embody it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the thing I do is I'm going to bring into a space the desire to share some joy. And that is going to bring me pleasure. And I'm really, really focused on that being your experience too. That's what's going to be.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Third eye chakra, pop.
Yes.
Pop, pop, pop. All right, Ace,
All
let's
right.
get it.
We did it.
We are to the crown chakra.
Okay.
All right, so 2-part question. So Betty, what is one thing you can't give up and why?
Yeah.
And what would giving it up mean?
Yeah. I can't give up fucking being on my phone, man. My phone hygiene is so wicked. I'm on my phone so much. Sometimes I get like look on my phone at like how many hours, and I'll like look. I'm like for the day.
Yeah.
I'm like you've been on your phone for 71 hours today. I'm like, how is that even possible?
Yeah.
But it is like there's a world where I live where where I go and get a fucking flip phone.
Yeah.
Where this smartphone thing is over.
Mm-hmm.
And that I have a certain job that puts me on the internet, and that internet lives in this one place in my house, and that's where I have to go to do that internet thing. And then I leave and I take my fucking rotary phone if I want to talk to someone. Like the piece that I think would come back to my life and what we're doing here, which is having a conversation where we're listening to each other and not looking at our phones. It's a totally novel thing these days. You know?
Yeah, I do. Like most of the time you're talking to somebody, they're holding their phone and as they're gesturing when they're talking, they're glancing at their phone with every gesture.
Texting with their thumb.
Yeah.
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 And we think we can multitask, but we cannot. We can't split our focus. One of the books that I listened or read or something says if we are splitting our focus, your focus becomes less than 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, oh, I got 50% here and 50 there. It's like, no, actually it ends up being 40-40 and you lose that 20. The 20 is in nowhere. The 20 is you trying to do two things at once that you can't really do.
I like that. Yeah, that makes sense. Because it takes focus to do two things.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So what would giving up the phone mean to you?
Yeah, I think it would mean more of a genuine connection with people. I think I would probably pretty quickly not have the tolerance for those people that are always on their phone. I think I would find myself in spaces that were more about like nature, and mountains, and I would want to feel more disconnected from like the buzz of things.
Yeah.
I think I would have more. Yeah, I think I would have more steady vibes. I would be less spiking.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And Betty.
Yeah.
That was it. How do you feel?
I mean, I'm a little hot, but I think that's just because I've actually opened up all of my chakras.
Yeah, it's warm. It's a warm feeling. Opening up those chakras.
I feel really good. I will be honest. I was nervous to come onto the podcast because I was like, oh, I don't feel cool enough to be.
Oh, you're not.
Yeah. Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. Also, we didn't even ask you, do you have time to stick around for the Patreon?
Yeah. What's the Patreon?
It's very similar to this, except we
Get
pop
naked.
up. Well,
Oh.
we pop open the dark chakras.
Oh.
It's a little bit different, but it's very fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you'll have a good time.
Okay,
I mean, with the time you had on this, I think you'll have a good time.
Okay, sweet. Yeah. I'm down
and
with
that's,
darkness.
and for you guys watching and listening, that's $1, by the way. Get you our Patreon. $1 per month gets you all of our exclusive content, which is the counter to this podcast, which we call Chakra Poppers After Dark.
Yes, that's
And
what we call
also,
it.
Yeah, we also do some fight commentary and analysis on Ansley's Jiu Jitsu matches, whether she wins or loses. We put it up there. And Bet, do you have anything to promote real quick?
Yeah, sure. You can go to bettysmithsonian.com to check out my upcoming shows. And I'm part of helping put on the Free Fringe in the fall, which is a bunch of shows and festival kind of like vibe where you can go see anything for no cost.
Hell yeah. So check out bettysmithsonian.com and get on those shows. And also follow us into the Patreon where we're about to have an amazing time with Betty Smithsonian and her dark chakras. Let's go. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We love you, and we are out.
Yeah.